Where were you born?
I can't hear you.
Where were you born?
Where?
Yeah.
At Newberry Hospital.
Yeah, well, actually, it's about cigar. They're cigar.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
But they're also
bad
Gurkha
news, man.
warriors.
Was
Yes.
coverage. They said it during the Falkland.
You know who else was born there?
Falkland Island thing.
Me.
Said
You.
On the same day.
On the
50
same
years
day.
later.
What is that question?
50 years later.
Where did you grow up?
Where did you grow up?
Right here in Newberry, just like you.
Okay.
Because of Gurkha's reputation.
What was your favorite activity as a child?
I heard
Playing
they were
outside.
meat trees.
Very elite.
Okay.
From the mountains and the
How old are you?
and everything.
63.
Plus they only, you know, they used to be
What was your
stations
favorite
on
subject in school?
Communist China.
Well, I'm going to give the same answer you give. Recess.
But still,
I like being in elementary school, I liked all the subjects. But in high school, I liked band. I liked being in the band.
it's a fierce, very fierce fight.
Were you bad at any subjects?
It was made for decapitation.
I guess people would say maybe I wasn't too good at English because of my southernness and bad English grammar and that kind of stuff. But everybody else in the class was in the same boat, so it didn't matter.
Did you ever get in trouble as a
So I
kid?
said I wasn't gonna call you that.
No, but there was another kid that had my name at my school. He got in trouble a lot. They were always calling me to the office because they got us confused. But finally, the principal realized what the problem was, and then they didn't call me anymore. So I never got in trouble. No.
I didn't know that.
I bet. I know it does.
Were you ever bullied?
Was I what?
Were you ever bullied?
No, they did not allow bullying in school back then. They put a stop to it.
Who was your first girlfriend?
My first one would have been your grandma Joyce.
Really?
You was there and it's up.
I was looking at that book.
What was your favorite food?
Nobody cares about.
My favorite food? Probably macaroni and cheese. Yeah, the real kind, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you finished Clemson, didn't you?
And banana pudding.
You might have.
What is your favorite food now?
Banana pudding and macaroni and cheese. I eat more vegetables than I used to. I do better with vegetables, yes.
Who was your best friend?
Eddie.
Are you still friends?
We know each other, we don't get to see each other much.
Oh, okay. What was the first big disagreement you and your parents had?
I think that was yesterday. No, let's see. It was not actually until I went away to college and I came back the first time and I had very long hair, longer than yours, because that's when long hair was popular in 1970, and they did not like me having long hair.
Okay.
What?
Can I ask a follow-up question to that? You can keep asking about his hair. You don't have to stick to the script.
Is there a story about your hair?
Yes. The first time I came home and they had a fit, because I had hair down to here and I did look like a girl. And my hair was real thick and frizzy. It was real ugly, but I thought it looked cool at the time. And I went back to USC early that weekend because I got tired of them being on my case about it. I came back a month later and it was longer. And they were waiting for me with the preacher. And he prayed for me not to go to hell because I had long hair. And people were really serious about that back then. That was really considered a very sinful thing to do. And I kept my hair long for about a year, and I finally on my own cut it. They finally quit saying anything about it.
What is your favorite memory?
Oh my goodness, Caleb. I have a lot of good memories. Most of them involve playing with my friends around the creek, that same creek we go down to, you know, and do a little hiking and stuff, Scotts Creek. I just have thousands of good memories about playing on that creek, getting in the creek, when the creek would get out of bank, letting things float down the creek in like a river, you know, that kind of stuff.
Didn't someone swallow a quarter?
Did somebody what?
Didn't Uncle Mark swallow a quarter?
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't actually see that. Your Uncle Mark did swallow a quarter. I was not involved in that at all, but I do remember that, yeah.
Didn't y'all put Uncle Mark on those rafts y'all would make?
No, that was our cousin Chris. That the creek was out of banks, and we had made a raft out of pine logs that we had cut down with a little hatchet. and we put him on it to see if it would float, and it did. I mean, Chris is still alive today. He almost died that day, but he did
He
not.
pulled through.
Another one of my memories was the day we tried to burn the cornfield so that they could plant more corn, and we thought we were using kerosene and poured kerosene on it, and we struck a match, but we had poured gas, and it exploded, and they had to call the fire trucks, and we got the worst whippings of me and my friend Eddie got the worst whippings of our life that day because we almost burned the entire block down because we poured gas instead of kerosene. You know, kerosene would have burned slowly. Gas went. Whoosh.
Did your eyebrows get singed off?
We were sending back far enough, but it was a really massive fire.
How did you
For what?
get, how are you?
Burning off the
He's
field?
recording me for school.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what?
How did you throw a match? Then you had to be close.
We must have been, it didn't hurt us. We stood back far enough to, yeah. We did not burn.
That's a good story.
Give those kids
wasn't-
ideas. You
I
can
tell
Wasn't
you.
there a story where your long hair saved you?
Yes, that's when Grandma and Nanny quit fussing at me about my long hair. I was coming back from the beach with a bunch of boys sitting in the front seat of the car. We drove all night, and when we got back to the Prosperity exit a few miles from home, because we all were asleep, we had a wreck, a bad wreck. And I broke the windshield with my head. And when they took me to the doctor, because I was fine, I walked out of the wreck fine, they took me to the doctor, and the doctor told my mother, I'm glad he had long hair. The long, thick hair kept him from busting his head wide open on the windshield. I had forgotten that part. You're right. That's kind of the end of the long hair story. You're right. That's what happened.
Well,
What you talking about? is
well,
long
I
hair?
think that's all the question. That's all the questions, I think.
Any more questions you want to ask me?
No,
Okay.
that's
So
all.
you can turn it off?
Yep.
All right.
That was a good interview.